free education in the north, especially secondary. President John Dramani Mahama, his father was one of the richest Ghanaians, not rich man, one of the richest Ghanaians. At that time, he was in a boarding school called Achiwata Primary. Only privileged people can take their children to Achiwata Primary, true or false? But when his father heard that Kwame Nkrumah has introduced free secondary education in the north, his father took all him, John Ramama's siblings, including John Ramama, and all of a sudden, remember that they came from Tamale, took them there to go through free education. And this is the man that is telling you, if you are poor, don't go to school. Not only that, too, listen to what they do. Recently, about 3 months, if you see anybody wearing NDC t-shirt on this campus, pray for the person. Don't think I'm saying that because I'm a member of the MPP. I am a member of MPP by choice, not by death. By choice. Because I was thinking, if you are in the university and you cannot think, who else must think? Just about 1 month ago, I went somewhere and I said, the reason why I cannot join NDC is that they killed seasoned pastors in this country. They say, Google, Odifwasani, in Kumasi, they killed 78 persons in a 2-week ordeal. Went to kill a policeman in Konfanote, shot the policeman on the hospital bed, and dragged Odifwasani, tied to a taxi, dragged him to Kweditia, and used him as a shooting target. Killed him, and 78 members of his church. Google. Why? But it happened. So when it happened, I have to know the history that this party, I have to be careful. Right? Then in 2014, 15, 16, you hear a presidential candidate standing on the platform saying and bragging, my party has got revolutionary roots. We are not afraid of violence. If you do, we will visit you with violence. Then you know that your life is at stake, just as they kill some people. So when I say this is a party that kills people, I'm not just saying it too. I'm saying that we should never forget they did that, and they will never change. I said it, and I gave lots of examples. So if you are in the university, and you can't, now that all the information is on your phone, just Google and you'll find. Don't joke with your future. You are the ones who should go out there and propagate a better government for Ghana. There are people, when I started my political career, I met on campuses because I used to have a love for going to tertiary university campus. Because if you look at the segment of people who don't vote, they are all university or tertiary school girls. The ladies here, the ladies in Lagos, the ladies in Poly at that time, they don't vote too. Because Saturday or Tuesday, when it is time for voting, no unity. So we have to work extra on them. So bear with me. Let me take just about 30 minutes of your time. Just 30 minutes. Just 30. You don't have lectures to be. That's why you're saying that. Only 30 minutes. In 18 days' time, we'll be voting for a new president. In 18 days' time, we'll be voting for a new parliament. But the single most important message for you is that in 18 days' time, we'll be deciding your future. So when you go back to your hostel, take a piece of paper and write, in 18 days' time, what would I want my government to be doing for me? Don't say what would the government be doing you. Say, what do I want my government to be doing? Because whether you decide to vote or not to vote, whether you decide to vote for MPP, which I'm here to canvass, or vote to any other party you like, pick a piece of paper, and today, blank piece of paper, and write, what would I want my government to be doing? Because no matter the person who wins the election, is your government. If you look around all the contestants and you look within yourself, which of them would I want to be on the international stage speaking for or by behalf as a Ghanaian? You look at all the presidential candidates and you ask yourself, which of them has the integrity to be able to lead Ghana? You look at all the presidential candidates and you ask yourself, who will be on my side? You look at all the presidential candidates and say, who can be with me for this future journey? Because it's simple. When we wake up Monday, 9th December, by this time, 9th December, the Electoral Commission will be declaring a president as the president-elect. For me, let me tell you a fact. The future doesn't belong to me. Because I am current. The future doesn't belong to Dr. Baumia because he is current. He is the one that is going to lead you into the future. So check all the presidential candidates. Take their picture. Go and look at their video posts. Watch them closely. Watch them closely. All of them, I think they are 30 or 30 minus 1 or something. Check all of them and ask yourself, who can be my father or who can be my mother, such that the person will think about my well-being. All elections is about your well-being. So if you decide you want the person who will open 24-hour disco because your life will be 24 hours in the disco, you have the person of this. When I was your age, I was in KNUST, and I had to make a decision at that time. Who do I want to lead the future? I can tell you that time, it was 22 years ago. Or was it 22 years ago? 1992, 32 years ago. 32 years ago, I'm sure 90% of the people in the room here were not born. But I was in your shoes. And I was supposed to choose who I think can lead me to the future. That time there was no test score. But we formed a party, a students group for one of the parties. The party hadn't been in power before. We have only read about them in history books. But when we read their manifesto and we listened to them, and we didn't have a multiple of radio stations, so we have to strive for the manifesto and read for yourself. We decided that the country that can best champion the future of our youth was MPP. So I didn't stop. I struggled to become the MPP leader at that time, students leader at that time. And I was in a medical school. And we were going for lectures every day. We didn't have your day off like you do, my brother. So we were going for lectures every day. And we had to organize the party on campus. And it was not TESCOM commitment, but with little inducement. It wasn't that way. It was MPP. We are going to work for you to make sure you come to power. Because I personally felt, when I looked around, all the candidates that are appearing or want to contest, none of them could be my father, except Professor Dubois. I wouldn't wish any of them to be my father. If you can't wish somebody to be your father, don't vote for that person. Simple. If you don't wish for prosperity for yourself in future, take your vote for joke. If you have gone through UPSC, whether you like it or not, you finish within the next 3 years. So you don't care about tomorrow, joke with your vote. Because it was not always like this. Just about 8 years ago, go and look at the pictures of UPSC, if you haven't. 8 years ago. And go and look at the pictures of UPSC now. All I want to tell you is that leadership matters. And it is not 5 people who. Leadership what matters. It is the person who is the leader who will change and better your future. It is not all MPP people who are coming to rescue you. But it is who that person is. So if you hear that somebody said that I don't care about students going to secondary school, and I'm not joking, go and look at the educational sector report 2015 or 2012. You Google, you'll find it. In black and white, NDC said the secondary education is for only rich men. They don't believe that poor people to go to secondary school. And don't say 2012, the person who signed that report is still alive. Yesterday, I met her at the funeral. That Timo Dusu, he was the education minister. And when they produced that report, they said, so what will happen to poor people? They said we should go and test all their parents to see if their parents can pay or cannot pay. Isn't it? What about if we test and their parents cannot see? What would you do for them? You know what President Mahama said? He said, I'll let them work whilst in school, secondary school. I'm not talking about university. You will let your son, you will let your daughter, who is between the age of 12 and 15, or 15 and 18, work whilst in school to earn something to pay the school fees. It's there. So if somebody read it and decided that the future of the country is not safe under NDC, you will also have to read and listen to what they are saying now to see whether the future of the country is safe under NDC. Imagine, in Ghana, secondary education is a boarding education, right? Nearly 80% of all students are in secondary school. So the best secondary school, the best college in Ghana is private college. No two ways, right? No two ways. It's the only college that wins international robotic competition regularly, not once in the frying pan. Regularly. It's the school of the future. We are preparing private students for the future. Imagine there are about 1,500 or so or 2,000 people in private college. There's only one dining hall. And there are only about 10 houses with lavatories, toilets, and buildings. So if 30% of the students there are poor, and you say, and they're in secondary school, and you say they should work in the school to earn money, to be able to pay their fees, what is even the work they can do in the school? Just ask yourself. So remember that if you really believe what you are reading, it is that same party that an minister came to sit on TV and said that there's so much work to do. If you like go to the bush and carry stone and come and put on the roadside, if you carry stone for 3 days and put it on the roadside, you will get money and you'll be unemployed. If you can't carry the stone, go and get a sickle and start cutting the grass. Start cutting the grass. That grass is not a concern that you eat it too. The guinea pigs will eat the grass and you get money. They said it. And you can Google. So it is not what they are written, what they are saying. So just 2 days ago, the Minister of Finance under John Dramani Mahama, he should speak up. He said it's not everybody who is entitled to free SHS. Why ban the internet fee? Why ban the internet fee? But the story is even more difficult. If you think, when Kwame Nkrumah of Blessed Memory introduced partly free education in the North, especially secondary, President John Dramani Mahama, his father was one of the richest Ghanaians, not rich man, one of the richest Ghanaians. At that time, he was in a boarding school called Achimota Primary. Only privileged people can take their children to Achimota Primary, true or false? I tell you, go and check UPSA where you are. Go and look at the number of students they had in 2016 and check the number of students they had in 2024. You will see the level of increase. Why? Because leadership matters. Why? Because leadership matters. When UPSA was constructing hostels to benefit students, some people, another leadership in another university, had collected money and chopped. But today, Ghana government is still paying. 2 universities. Bakukoji is Kanwale. Where? Bakukoji is Kanwale. So don't take it as a joke about when they are selecting leaders. That's true. It is not a popularity contest or a beauty contest. It is for somebody who is going to take decisions on your future. So, when I became Minister of Education, the total number of students in secondary school were about 800,000. Of that 800,000, I tell you, a third will not finish school. Go again to check Google. Every year, the Conference of Head of Assistant Secondary Schools in the North, CHAS, will close secondary schools for about 3 months because government has not brought salvation. When they started school, go and Google, 2015, Okujato was all over the air. They did 3 rounds of school placement. December, they are doing school placement. So the first term, nobody went to school, if you are in Form 1. And the academic calendar for SSS was 9 terms. Form 1, 3, Form 2, 3, Form 3, 3. Go and check. If you see, if your leadership is bad, everything is bad. So first term, they didn't go to school. And when they finished final year, they started WASI in January, February. So they missed second term and they missed third term. So 3 months out of the 9 are here. Simple reason why students' failure rate was high. So you look at the core courses: English, Maths, Social Studies, General Science, right? At no time before 2016 could they pass back 40% in mathematics. At no time did they pass 45% in English. That is the basics. So where do they go to university? Every year, about 520 to 550,000 children are born. Every year in Ghana here. Leave out those who go to secondary school. Let's take them out. Go to private school. Right? But BEC, go and check. It's always about 400 and something thousand.
If you see some of us supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, supporting Napo, showing our face, it means there is more better Ghana ahead. We are looking at the future. There is nothing like a school that when you finish, you are a president or a running mate. It is a privilege that one deserves it based on their achievement. So every young man who wants a future, who thinks about getting a future, and also believing that it is not experience, people must be given the opportunity to also show what they can do for this country. And I can tell you, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represents all Northerners irrespective of your political colors. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia being the president after 50 years that Dombo merged with the MPP, Dankwa, Busia, Dombo. President Kufuor represented Busia. our father, able, hard-working President Nana, who has not only proven to Ghanaians that you can achieve your goal with perseverance, focus. You know what he went through to be a president today. He is an institution by itself. And we as a Northerners, we have always been running mates in this country, irrespective of the political colors. We only cover a vacuum of being part of the equation. So Ghanaians listening to us, giving us the opportunity for a Northerner to lead the MPP today is a blessing, is an achievement, and that is why every